Hey everyone,
It's us.
who are we?
Good mom.
And Bad Mama. It's Kiss and Jazz. We're wearing the same thing from last episode because we're recording these back to back.
Hey.
Just had to put that out there because we kind of do that, but I don't really care.
I don't think anybody
No,
cares.
I do care. That's why I'm saying it. I have to let it be known before somebody points it out. I have several issues.
I feel like it's pretty obvious though why it would be that. Clearly we're not wearing the same
You
fucking
have
thing.
something on your. Can you face that way? Face forward. God, you have something. Face me a little bit. Right there. It's like a little hair.
Is it a nose hair?
I don't know what it is. No. Okay, it's gone. But I'd be dying to Thank you for letting me do that. My hair is not hearing today.
No?
No, I didn't do my hair and it's stressing me out. I didn't add more product to it, so my curls just look frizzy.
I don't know. I mean, you see
I
it,
noticed
you know
it.
yourself, but
Yeah.
I think your curls look nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But anyway, how are you? Since we last spoke 5 minutes ago. You good? Good.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
So,
yeah.
Lots to talk about in this topic. I have a confession.
Confess.
Finding a sitter is very hard. Not even sitter. No, daycare, schooling. Now as a parent, it's stressing me out more. And I can now understand where my students' parents, why they get stressed out. So there's multiple components here. So first, babysitting, right?
Okay.
We do have a really awesome village that is not family, but friends that we can call on to help us when need be. We try not to use those resources unless one of the girls is sick and we've maxed out on our days during the school year, or we have an emergency, right? We have to rush somebody to the hospital. So we try to be very intentional of when we call on our help.
Yeah.
Which is why Peter and I honestly don't do date night, because these are people that we have
on
to
special
call
occasions
on.
You do.
Yes, for birthdays. I've called on Jessica, but that's for a birthday. We don't do the regular date night. And here's another reason. And this goes back to the last episode. I'm very cheap. It is very hard for me to spend. The going rate now is $30 an hour. To spend 25 to 30, yes.
Pretty sure my daughter charges 20.
I forgot. Oh my God, and she's about to leave.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could have used her. But so two people that we know charge $30 an hour. We have 2 kids, but the thing is, Peter and I don't typically.
Wait. So what is that? What's the rate when there's 2 kids?
Listen,
it doesn't double, does it?
I don't know. It kind of does.
Shit.
The issue is, we don't typically get babysitters unless the girls are sleeping. We wait till they're sleeping so it's easy on the person. They're honestly just bodyguarding. But it's so hard for me to spend, even if it's $20 an hour, it's hard for me to spend $40 to $60 if we decide to if we want to do dinner and a movie. Yeah. $60 to watch our sleeping bucks, yo. $60 to watch our sleeping children, on top of the $40 that we're going to spend just at the movie theaters and then dinner.
Yeah.
That's a flight right there.
That's a lot
of money. That's a plane ticket. Yo, send me away, Peter. Send me away.
Yeah.
It is so hard. And now I know, people are oh, that's why you should live around family. Yes, that is true. But also, you don't want to be abusing of your family.
Sure, that's great. But when you don't have that option, then what?
Exactly. And we are not about to just leave our children with random people just because they're hey, of course I'll watch your kid, I'll offer. No, we're very particular of who we want watching our children.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about that because we wanted to go watch a show in the city, And we're like, all right, who are we going to call on? And I literally like listed out, I'm like, well, I can call this person, but they're going to charge us this much money. I can call my aunt, who I have like one aunt who's always willing and able, but she also has her own grandkids, right? And we try to only call on her when it's a nighttime thing, when the girls are about to go to sleep. I'm like, okay, well, if we call this person, they can potentially watch the girls during the day. So we have to also be intentional. Like, well, if we call this person, we don't want them being with the girls for 4 hours during the day. That's going to be a lot. Well, if we call that person, they can they're more comfortable watching the girls during the day. It's like, by this point, it's like, yo, forget it. Like, we're having to plan, not just like plan this activity that we want to do together, but also plan out who's going to watch the kids. Are they going to be available?
Yeah.
Can they handle, like,
Can we afford it?
Can we afford it? Can they handle these two girls, during that time? And again, we don't just want to leave them with anyone, because not for nothing, but being in the school system, I've heard many horror stories of things that happen when kids are left with a babysitter. And I can't just push that to the side.
God, I think that makes me think back to the time when I used to babysit, and I'm like, oh my God, I would bring boys over.
Jessica!
It's so bad.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, but it was with my aunt. And so they were my cousins that I was watching, and I was like, whatever. I've like brought boys over.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, I let my goddaughter babysit when we're in the same house.
Oh, really?
So they go, like, my girls love going over to my cousin's house.
Yeah.
So they go to my goddaughter's room and they will spend hours in there. My goddaughter now has a special friend. That's what we're calling him, a special friend.
Oh.
And recently we went over and the girls went straight in there. But of course, like, they want to hang out. Yeah. So I'm like, imagine if like we had her babysit and special friend came over. She wasn't going to be watching our kids. She's going to be hanging out with her special friend. So like what you did. It's so hard.
Especially with prices now. I'm thinking back too, especially back. I'm like, I watched them every Friday, Saturday night, and I got $20 a night.
Yeah. That's how it was when I was a kid. Like, we would watch. But back then, obviously, $20 was a lot.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, $20. Now it's like $20 is not even a movie ticket for a Friday night. You cannot at a good movie theater.
But that's, so like Kaylee has been babysitting for our friend, old colleague, who lives pretty close. So she's been kind of taking advantage of that before they move. And again, like Kaylee's like, I don't know. She's like, she asked what I charged. And I was like, I don't know. What is it now? I don't even know the going rate for a freaking babysitter. And she's like, I was like, I don't know, 20. She goes, is that too much because she's your friend? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm like, that's expensive.
It's hard out there.
Yeah.
It's hard out there as a parent. Whew. I see these movies. I watched a movie recently. I don't remember the name. It was an older movie, but it was like it was a group of like 5 moms. They were single and they did like a rotating like babysitting of all the kids. So like the one mom would watch the kids for one night while all 4 other moms like went out, and then they would rotate that. Like, it was always one mom.
FOMO.
Yo. Yes, you would get FOMO. Like, yes, but you were like, every 5th week it was your turn, like, to just miss out. But at least I'm like, yo, if we had a village like that.
You know what? Our Colleen and Sabina, we have talked about this before on how cool it would be to like live in like a community where we like all had our own places and like we took turns making dinner, right? One night. And there's this place, I believe it's in Switzerland or something.
So like polygamy?
No. We're not having sex. God. But no, like people just rely on each other. No. But you just live in communities. You share responsibilities. You share taking care of the kids. And it just seems really cool.
So one of my brothers has actually, like, whenever we talk about like wishing we lived closer to each other, he's like, yo, I'm serious. We need to buy land, build our homes, live closer to them. I'm like, I would love that. I always tell him, like, I would love that. But we all are very different with our own families. So like,
you'd have to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know if we would. Like, we love each other very much from a distance.
Yeah.
But like, we love each other a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we grew up together, which is funny because recently one of my brothers was like, I wish we lived closer. I'm like, bro, We all lived under the same roof for 20 years. Do you remember that? I think that's a good reminder of why we live far away.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's crazy. 4 kids, like, yo, we all have like strong personalities. But
I think back to it's like I have never had the luxury of being around family to help take care of my kids.
yeah.
Never.
So I will say this. Peter and I have this conversation a lot too. And I talk to my mom a lot about this. Like, when I go back home, and it's actually feels weird calling it back home. I used to always say back home, but when I go back to Miami with my girls, I'm very quick to leave them.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go see friends or hang out.
Yep.
They're good. And I often think about that. I'm like, look how easy it is for me to like leave my kids because I'm in a comfortable environment. But my mom is older. It doesn't mean that my mom is like watching them the way that she watched me. She's older now,
Yeah.
Um, her priorities have shifted. And I always think about like that kind of always causes me to feel grateful that I don't live near family because I am way more present than I think I would be if I did live near family. I think
I see
I can
what
only
you're
speak for
saying.
myself. I would rely heavily on family.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know because I think about that too. I hope I live by my kids.
Mhm.
I would hope to because I do want to be in my grandkids' lives. Ugh, it makes me puke when I think about it.
Jessica's gonna be called Mima.
Shut up.
Hey, Mima. Mima with the moo moo.
With my moo. This is an ongoing joke.
Oh.
She has to call me that for some reason. But anyway,
Rogan Kai, we're gonna go to Mima's house.
oh my God. But
Mima Jessica.
I like want them to rely on me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about that and I'm like, yeah, I want you to bring my grandkids over. Oh my God. Ugh. I mean, it's gonna happen, but I don't know.
Oh
If it
my
would
god.
happen now, like let's just say, right? Like it was Kaylee and she
Yeah.
was my age, right? And
Mhm.
she ended up pregnant. I don't know, because I got my own life right now. Like I'm loving my independent
Yo,
life
you
right
would be
now.
that grandma.
I'd be like,
I,
no,
I
I
already
got
raised
dates.
I already raised my kids. I ain't raising no more kids. That's how you're gonna be.
I raised my kids. Yep. I got
Oh
dates.
my gosh.
I got
Anyway.
dates.
Anyway. But back to that, like, yeah, it's really it is hard. It doesn't mean I don't mean to say this like that, man, this sucks. Like we don't have like people that we can rely on. It's not that. I'm not complaining. I'm just like saying, you know, I feel like there
It's
are a
hard out
lot.
here.
Huh?
It's hard out
It's
here.
hard. I feel like there's a lot of moms like, that probably feel the same way. And the only reason I say is because I love me a good group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And when I read and see these things, I'm like, dang, we are all struggling. And yes, we can easily, if we lived in like the same county or same town, it's easy to be like, hey, if you ever needed anything, I can watch your kid. But realistically, we're not going to just drop off our kids at some rando's house because that's where you hear at the 5 o'clock news, so and so met them. And before you knew it, their child went missing.
You know what I feel like is even harder
Mm,
is finding daycare.
mm,
Just because like that's like it's not one night, right? This
yep.
is like a daily thing and your
Yeah.
kid's going to be with this person for like 7 or plus hours.
Yes.
And I remember when I first moved here and having to find daycare, it was just like it's tough and it has to be affordable.
Yes. And most of the affordable stuff is rink-a-dink. You
Yep.
do not want to send your child there.
Yeah.
Agreed. Did you encounter any issues when you first put Cam in daycare?
There was one daycare I put him in and I took him out
Mhm.
pretty quick just because like I don't know. It was a center. I grew up in home daycares
Mhm.
and like my Kaylee and Kai were in home daycares.
Mhm.
Um so this is the first time I actually put him like in a center and I just didn't like the way it was set up and it was just
I'm gonna ask you about
it
this
felt
afterwards. I want to know where it's at.
cold. You know, like does that make sense?
Yeah, where is it?
It's in Inglewood.
Like
I
near
don't remember
what?
the name of it.
What is it near?
I don't even know what this area. I'm so bad with street names.
That's okay. What is it near?
There's
Think of
a
what's around it.
gym. It's by like the Mercedes.
Oh, that place closed down.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, nope, we got to take him out. So then we actually found a home daycare,
Mm-hmm.
and she was good. Like she was affordable. She was good. You know,
Yeah.
I think there wasn't as much, I would say not as much like learning type stuff like you would in
Mm-hmm.
like a preschool and that you would notice, but he's fine.
Yeah. I can sympathize with that.
Yeah.
So after I had I wanted to be home. Like I was like, yeah, I cannot leave my child with anyone, but I knew I had to go back to work. So when she was about 9 months, I went back to work and I was freaking out. Peter knew someone who had a home daycare, um, but it wasn't convenient
Mm.
because they didn't open till 8, and
This is in New York.
this is in New York, and I had to be at work at 8:20. By 8:20, I had to be picking up my class.
Oh.
And it was 10 minutes from work, but that doesn't calculate
Parking.
the parking,
Mm-hmm.
which there's no parking. There's no parking lot, or traffic,
Yeah.
morning traffic. So we tried it out. We tried it out for 1 week. She worked like a deal with us, like where I could drop R off at her house and she would take her to the daycare. And like, we're like, because we know who this person is, we're going to try this out. Man, but Rogue would cry so much. And I was like, man, this just does not feel right.
Yeah.
And then the second week came around and the lady had already like pre-planned. She had let us know she was going to be on vacation for about a week. So her aunt was running the center. When I tell you that my daughter cried like never before, like this is a 10-month-old baby, like, do not leave me here, please. I told Peter, I'm like, I can't. I, on my lunch break that day, walked around all the home daycares in the
I remember
surrounding
you telling
area
me about this day.
because the Bronx has a lot of home daycares. I mean,
Yeah.
New York like does provide funding for that. I went to one home daycare where there was like a mix of after school older kids and little kids, and little kids were the older kids were picking on the little kids, and this poor little girl's like, I'm not a baby. And the older kids are like, yeah, baby, ha ha. And the lady like barely, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but barely spoke English. She's like, tell them not to call me a baby. She's like, baby. And she came back to pay attention to me. I'm like, nope, this is not it.
Yeah.
Went somewhere else and they're like, hey, we don't have any openings right now, but give me your number and I'll call you. And the school security guard actually was like, I put my daughter here, you know me, like I felt comfortable enough to take her advice. She's like, I wouldn't trust any other place than this particular place.
Yeah.
And it was the one that I had given them my name for any openings. Like 2 days later, they're like, hey, we had a family move to a different center. We have an opening in this room. If you want to bring your daughter. I'm like, yes. From like one day to another, I'm like, so and so, we're sorry. Like,
Yeah.
this is literally walking distance from my school. I can park, walk my daughter, and walk to school. And it worked out beautifully. Like, they cooked meals. She was so happy there. Like, they treated her. It was like 5 Puerto Rican women. They treated her like, my daughter came home with her baby hairs laid. Like, she would never let me do her hair. And I'm like, she lets you do her hair? She's like, yeah, she brings me the brush and like the baby products. And she's like, hair. I'm like, oh my God. I was very happy with her there. But then I moved to schools here.
Yeah.
And went back to the same thing. I was looking for home daycares. Bergen County isn't known for their home daycares.
Yep.
There's a lot of learning centers. I like even applied at one learning center that wanted to hire me. It was like one of those like top state-of-the-art learning centers. And I'm like, this place looks sad. Like, it doesn't look happy. Like, it looks like these 3-year-olds
That's
are
what I
just
felt
learning.
in that place. Yeah. Yeah.
So I tried another place that was further out, wasn't close to work, but I'm like, I would rather sacrifice like having to wake up extra early to drive, my oldest to get her here, because it had the same feel as the place in the city. So that was really nice. But then I moved then we had to move them out of that place because I'm like, okay, we're going back to the building. I'm no longer virtual. I need something closer. And we tried out one place that was closer to us, provided meals, would take both girls. We were supposed to do a trial run because it was important for me for the girls to try it out for half a day and see, how they felt. And the lady that was supposed to, like the director, wasn't there yet. And the lady opened the door. She's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "We're here for a trial run." She's like, "Oh, okay, just give me your baby." I'm like, "Absolutely
Oh.
not." I was like, "Nah." I'm like, "You don't even know my name. You don't even know what we're doing here." My daughter looked at me like, "Mom." I'm like, "Nope." The lady called me after. She's like, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Listen, if you and I agreed on this, like
Yeah.
for days, like we've been talking for over a week. No, like I'm just not.
Shit.
Yo, it was rough. But then they ended up in a really, really good program, which was it was more important for me because of my youngest who like has social anxiety. Like this girl's 3 and
Yeah.
has like legit social anxiety, which really breaks my heart. But even when she started at this new place, like the directors were kind of like standoffish, like what's wrong with her? But her teacher immediately was so sweet and so welcoming, and like you could tell like she knew how to handle my daughter, and that's important to me. I needed somebody that can handle my kid, not
Yeah.
watch my kid, not take care. I need somebody that can handle all of her. Do I wish I had a nanny? Of course.
Oh my God. Or an au pair?
Au pair.
Please.
I looked into that. I actually looked into how much it would be to get an au pair, and like
And they would like a live-in?
yeah, I told Peter about it too. He's like, somebody living in our house? I'm like, yes, Peter, look, it boils down to the same thing that we're paying for day. He's like, nah. I'm like, come on, we have the space. He's like, no, which I'm grateful for because I'm like, yo, we're loud. We're Dominican. Like,
I have a friend, actually, I'm gonna hang out with her tomorrow, a colleague, Megan. She has an au pair. She I would think it's been maybe not a year, maybe a year
yeah.
that she's had her. She came from, I don't know, another country, I can't remember. But yeah, and she lives in, and I was like, that's so, I mean, I think kind of cool, but kind of weird,
Yeah.
right? To have like someone just living with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but shit, if you can pay for that convenience,
That, of course.
yeah.
You see, there's like that fine line because I think of like when my mom comes to visit, she always comes and stays like the month. She's not an au pair, obviously. She's my mom, but my mom also isn't like she doesn't overstep. She's not overbearing.
Yeah.
But even at the end of the month, I'm like, I'm ready to kind of have my space, even though
Oh
she
my
does a
gosh,
lot.
yes.
So, and I wonder, like with an au pair, like, are you ever like, because you can be yourself, but I guess you can't fully be yourself because what if you're crazy? You can't be crazy around the au pair.
Oh my God, it reminds me of, there's so many stories about this, right? When
Yeah.
the live-in babysitter is just like crazy. I watched the show on Apple TV. I can't remember the name of it. It's kind of like that. And I just read a book that was all about that too.
Was it a nonfiction book?
Yes.
Okay, send that to me.
Okay.
I don't like.
Kaylee has it.
No, like send me the name.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
Oh my gosh!
But I'll send it to you.
Okay, send it to me.
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good story. Yeah.
It's hard out here. It's hard. Yo, it is hard being on a budget, not be able to pay for childcare, and then you need a break and you need to go out.
I know, and I do feel like I definitely made my kids grow up faster because they became my babysitters real quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do when my 2 oldest are in college. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with Cameron?
Are you kidding me? But like Cameron's already what? How old is Cameron?
He's only 12.
Exactly.
Well, he'll be 12 soon.
He'll be 14 by the time that.
He'll be 13.
Okay, when he's 12 now.
He turns 12 in August.
12 in August. So yeah, he'll be 13. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's also a boy. I feel like it's different when you're a boy.
Just leave him.
No, like you're not gonna leave him overnight. Look, he come back to his room. His room is always here waiting for him. The girls would love to have him here. They love him so much.
Oh.
But yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I don't know. So I might have to like be back into this realm in another year
Of what, like babysitting
of
your own
looking
kid,
for a
Jessica?
babysitter. Not babysitting my own kid, just like having to worry about getting a babysitter because I haven't had to in a while.
Yeah.
Um, I know it's like, and it's like, what are the ages? When can you just leave your kid alone?
Well,
There's no laws.
the
I do know that.
YMCA, I don't know about here in Jersey, but when my niece was in South Carolina, she did take like babysitting course
Mm-hmm.
and got like babysitter certified by the age of 12.
I'm pretty sure Kaylee did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like 12 is the age,
Yeah.
but I feel like for boys,
Overnight it's different, right? Like I 100% leave my kids by themselves. Like I would leave Cameron by himself to go like out to dinner or
yeah.
whatever, right? But like
But no, overnight,
overnight,
that's yeah.
a little different because I always think about like, oh, what if there was a fire in the
Mhm.
house? What the fuck would he do?
Call 911.
I mean, yeah, but like that's a terrible position to be in with no adults
Yeah,
around. You know what I
of
mean?
course.
Which again, it could
I
happen
mean,
during the
think
day,
about, but
right?
it's not
Like
like Cameron really eats things where he needs to start a fire.
just gonna be on the computer. Maybe the computer
That's
explodes. I don't
oh
know.
my god, it's another topic for another day. Oh no, it like overburns. What is that called? Not overburns. When the computer gets too hot, overheats.
Overheats. Jesus, we are so bad with finding the words. Sugar tooth.
Sugar tooth. Semi-perm. What is it? Permisem.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll
yeah,
see.
you might have to.
We'll
I mean,
see.
you still have a whole year for that, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to be in another state anyway.
Yeah, I plan on moving. But that's the thing is like if I travel for work, because I travel a lot for work. So I'm just like, when I travel, what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna have to hire someone to stay the night with him.
Yeah. Who are you gonna hire? You better join one of these Facebook mom groups.
I know. No, not doing it.
What are you gonna do? Go to
Care.com. Gotta find my sitter. Now I'm thinking like, God, what is an overnight? Oof.
Oh, to watch a kid.
Yeah.
You better find somebody with a friend or like somebody with an
to.
older child,
or maybe
who goes to college here.
Make friends really fast, and then he just stays
the night at their house. Oh yeah, that would be a really good idea.
I don't know. We'll see. Anyways,
she still has a year.
Yep.
But anyway,
got some time to think about that.
So let us know what's been hard for you in terms of just like a village or babysitting or daycare or school.
And we didn't even bring up this, but like the fact that we are in a society to where we have to go back to work, so we can't stay with our kids and we have to find daycare.
Yeah. Yep.
And very quickly after we have our children.
Yes. I know.
Yeah. So
it's super crazy.
So there's
you have to go back to work, but no, we don't want to watch your kid. And nobody really wants to watch anybody else's kids. So let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even teachers don't want to be watching it. Yes, parents. Teachers do not really want to be watching your kid. In all actual, we love to teach. They're two very different things.
We don't want to babysit.
We don't want to babysit. We are not glorified babysitters. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.